Oh, hello. Welcome to Go ADHD Go. My name is Johnny, and on this channel we give you the tips and tricks to help make life suck less because let's face it, living life with ADHD can get pretty sucky sometimes. And one thing that can make a good day go sucky is when someone responds with, I also. You know, why do I always forget my keys?
I also forget my keys all the time.
Why am I so scatterbrained?
I also have a scatterbrain.
Why can I not get motivated?
I also can never get motivated.
When someone responds with I also, us with ADHD tend to immediately get defensive. Usually we keep it in, but sometimes one of those, it's not the same thing, slips out of our cake hole because, you know, ADHD. Then we've got the ADHD grumps the rest of the day. Grumps in. But here's the thing. At some point I realized that 99% of the time, those I also people, they're not trying to belittle me or make me feel bad. They're just responding in a conversation. That's it. People tend to want to relate in a conversation. I had coffee this morning. I also had coffee this morning. I am always losing my keys. I also lose my keys all the time. It's just a response. That's it. They're just chitter chattering with us. Nothing more. It took me a while to realize that, but I'm glad I finally did. I also come to realize that not everyone is normal. Why is it that us with ADHD just seem to assume that everyone else is a neurotypical, normal person? It's kind of weird when you think about it. I never once thought about how all of those I also people that I just assumed were neurotypical, normal people might be saying I also because they can relate. Maybe because they have ADHD, but I don't know that they have ADHD. Or they might have ADHD and they don't know that they have ADHD. Before you were diagnosed, were you an I also person? I was. I have an ADHD friend that would say things like, I'm always losing things. And I'd say, I also lose things all the time. Or she'd say, I'm always late to stuff. And I'd say, I'm also always late. Now, she had already been diagnosed with ADHD. I wasn't. But chances are it was me being that I also person so many times that made her realize something. And one day she told me, hey, you might want to go see a doctor because I think you have ADHD also. So I talked to my doctor and then a psychologist. And yep, I was diagnosed with ADHD, like off the charts ADHD. I was the I also person because I had ADHD and I didn't even know it. I was relating with all my friends' frustrations because I was having the same frustrations, but I never thought it could have been ADHD. It never crossed my mind. Here's the thing. My friend probably realized that I might have ADHD by the way I was responding with I also. The way that I was saying I also. It wasn't, oh my gosh, I also do that. It was, I also do that. Probably the way I responded made her realize that I was relating way too well with what she was talking about. After I got diagnosed with ADHD, I found myself getting frustrated with those I also people, just like most people with ADHD do. But I realized, perhaps like my friend did with me, that I really need to start paying close attention to how someone responds with I also, instead of immediately wanting to yell, it's not the same thing. Because once I let an I also get me all riled up, my disappointment is immeasurable and my day is ruined. So now I pay attention to notice if the I also person is just engaging in conversation and doesn't mean anything by it. Because like I said, 99% of the time, I also people are not trying to make me feel bad. I also pay attention to see if they say I also in a way where it seems like they can relate way too well. And if I notice that they're relating way too well, like I said earlier, they might have ADHD and not even know it. Or I might not know that they have ADHD because they never told me. Or anyone. Either way, maybe I can be that person to possibly help them out. You never know. Or maybe they might realize that I speak their language, if you know what I'm talking about. You know, I can be that other weird ADHD person that totally gets why they do the things that they do. You know, be that person they can come up to and say stuff like,
This morning, I went to put my coffee into the microwave, but I stuck it in the cupboard and shut the door. Then 5 minutes later, I was like, duh, and took my coffee mug out of the cupboard, put it into the microwave, shut the door, and walked away. Didn't turn it on. And it was like an hour later before I realized, hey, I haven't even subscribed to your YouTube channel yet.
And I'd be all like, I do that also. Because I did. True story. So the next time somebody gives you the old I also, just remember chances are they're not trying to belittle you. They might be struggling just like you. They might be struggling and not even know why they're struggling. Listen, we ADHDers spend enough time being mad at ourselves. No use making ourselves even more mad by getting mad at others. Others that chances are aren't trying to make us mad. So the next time someone says, I also, don't get mad. Take a deep breath and try to remember what we talked about in this video. It will make things much better. But that's just my 2 cents. Let's dance!